KOMP 92.3, where Vegas rocks. It's Sylvia, and today I have Johannes from Avatar on Zoom with me. Hello.
Hello.
I know. Before I recorded this, we kind of said our pleasantries, so this is just I guess
Hmm.
for the interview purposes.
Pure formalities.
There you go.
But you're still doing good?
From the time that you asked me about
Yeah,
5 seconds ago, I'm doing fantastic. So I think it went
great.
up.
That's good. Yeah.
I think when you asked me, I just said I'm good, and now I'm fantastic. So
Yeah.
how
It's adrenaline.
what
Oh,
about you?
I'm good. I'm cold turkey on nicotine.
Oh no.
Not on purpose. It's time. Yeah, because I quit a couple of years ago and
Hmm.
I did great.
Okay.
Then life happened in a bad way and I tried to
Sure.
fix it by going back to nicotine and turns out that it doesn't solve anything and
Mm-mm.
now I feel like I should do that again. So I'm insane right now, but I think
Okay.
I've been faking things in life before, like I've been keeping up
You've been masking it. Oh,
but
okay.
no, I'll be fine. I'm just being all personal and stuff by
Okay.
sharing the fact that I think what happens either I will start yelling at you for
Okay.
no reason, or I will just be very, very unfiltered. Both cases, I think, in your position, hosting a radio show will
Yeah.
be gold.
No, it'll be great. I'm
It's
excited.
one scoop, one kind of scoop or another. We'll see
Hmm.
which kind.
Okay. So Avatar, you guys are coming back to Vegas November 8th with Alien Weaponry and
Mhm.
Spiritworld. This is happening at Brooklyn Bowl later this year. I can't think of a better time to be coming back to Vegas when it's not hot.
Yeah, right. Well, it's always hot to us when we're there. It's actually, yeah, Brooklyn Bowl. Yeah, we've been there a couple of times. Uh, it's funny to me, Vegas has become a very kind of homely place,
Okay.
which I think it doesn't usually not once and what ends up happening, if especially if you're a European musician traveling through. But I think if you don't, because we do usually do the whole North American two legs,
Hmm. Hmm.
and if we do a leg where Vegas isn't on it, but we still need to hit, go from east to west or west to east, there are
Uh,
good parking spots in Vegas, which means that usually there's where the bus driver gets to sleep and you have to figure out life a bit on your own and have a day off in
yeah.
Vegas. And after a couple of times of doing, oh, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas,
Oh
it's like,
God.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't like myself anymore. What else can we do?
Yeah.
And that is when, I also have friends who, still some friends who live in Vegas, some friends who used to live in Vegas until
Hmm.
very, very recently. And that's when you go hiking in the Red Rocks canyons and do all
Yes.
those kind of things and
See.
find neighborhoods and geeky stores outside of the strip. Although I'm very familiar with the strip.
Mhm. I think you have to. If you're not from Vegas, I think the first thing that you go to is on the strip.
Of
Just
course.
check it out.
Yeah, of course. And then, because again, parking space, so we park right
Mhm.
behind the strip.
Yeah.
Actually, also I was spent a lot of time in Vegas because it was our first tour back from COVID, back from the plague, was turned out to be a bit premature because we had to cancel the last week of it because I caught the COVID.
Oh
So
no.
everybody went home, and I stuck around in a hotel room in Vegas for another week,
By yourself.
waiting to test. Yeah, well, the tour manager was in the room next to mine,
Oh, okay.
picking up the delivery food from the lobby for me.
Yeah.
Uh, but it was, but yeah, so there. But as far as when people in doing the work that I do tell stories about being locked in a room in Vegas for a week, it usually comes with other connotations than what it does when I did it,
Hmm.
because that was just having COVID, meaning just doom scrolling,
Yep. You can't really do much.
YouTube, and, and half week through uh, thinking, but wait a minute, I got all this downtime. We got songs we're working on. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Let's just be creative. Open up, the music program we use and no, 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 and close it again. Another chance. Did you get a chance to ask a single question?
I haven't gone into the interview yet. Again,
No,
we're just
so I'm
exchanging
sorry.
pleasantries. And I mean, I love that you love Vegas. You know, the love that you have for it, especially
Oh yeah, that
now.
was my sell. That's the whole
Yeah,
selling point
yeah,
here, right?
yeah.
Hey, we're playing Vegas, and I have a relationship to it.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's more than just the strip. Like you said, there's Red Rock,
Definitely.
Canyon.
Yeah,
There's we have downtown, but it's all these little small businesses. So there's a lot to Vegas other than
there's a lot to
casinos
Vegas.
and gambling. And
Absolutely.
yeah. Um, so what I love and appreciate about Avatar is that it's a mix of heavy and groove and that kind of dark circus music that I can
Hmm.
hear in like the puppet show. The term metal circus comes up a lot. Can you explain what that means for people who maybe don't know what that is?
Well, there's a important distinction there that we're making. That is exactly the way you put it, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
a metal circus as opposed to because we are a European metal band that dress up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a European metal band that dress up, it can be all kinds of metal. It can be pirate metal, it can be folk metal, it can be this or that metal, and it's always a Disneyland on ice metal version of whatever you do, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm a huge fan of whatever dress up metal that might be, right? But but the way you put it and the way we put it and we put it out there like that is to call it a metal circus because
Mhm.
it's not circus metal. We have two, three songs like that maybe that would clearly be the dun da 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 dee, dee,
Yeah,
dee.
for
We
sure.
have,
Yeah.
but in a 10 album discography, two, three songs like that, we dig it as we dig
Mhm.
many other things, but it's a metal circus for sure. It's and the circus seems to have been this just amazing framework for us within which their grammar. It's we somehow end up at the circus no matter what we do, I guess,
Mhm.
and it keeps making sense somehow to put us there, and especially, me being a clown.
Mhm.
Because there's a beauty of that, right? That there's a duality in Avatar that we deal with dark stuff. It gets real, lyrically and what it's all about and what we're trying to articulate as artists. But at the same time, we also want to be a rock and roll band and have give you a good time. And we're deadly serious about dead serious, but we're also silly. And there's a duality there. And there's
Mhm.
that duality in whatever, in all the things that a clown is to people, right? Um, because a lot of people are scared of clowns,
Yeah. And
it's
especially the way that you do your music or your makeup, I
yeah.
should say. It's
But as
a
a
little
kid,
creepy.
I loved clowns as a kid. I was
Yeah.
never scared of clowns as a kid. And I mean, we don't do music for kids per se.
Mhm.
But if the parents are cool with bringing their kids, then I'm like, okay, that's on you. And now I'm gonna be cool to the kids who show up. But I also there notice that kids aren't scared of me.
Mhm.
Adults, people have built up a bit of a little backpack full of trauma, might, project things upon me and what we do that makes clowns scary.
Yeah. So
But
you're
I
helping
think,
people with their phobias.
helping or hurting, I don't know. I take no responsibility one way or the other. I
Yeah.
have certainly been like, dude, you have to take a picture with my wife. She's so scared of you. And like, I don't mind if I do. You know, we've done that.
Yeah. Awesome. And I saw a post on Avatar's YouTube channel, which it's Avatar Metal, by the way. It said,
Hmm.
quote, "We were never supposed to make it this far, but we did, and we're just getting started." And this was before announcing the tour, and then you guys going on tour with Metallica.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Avatar was formed what in 2001, 2003?
Yeah.
Um,
2001 is when John and Jonas met, and neither had cut their hair for an entire month. And as such, that's how a band is formed between teenage boys
yeah,
and girls.
yeah, and you guys were exactly teenagers. You were so young.
Mm.
So what kept you going in those early years when it didn't feel like it was clicking for you to like kind of make this post
Well,
on YouTube?
internally, it was clicking. Well, what kept us going? So in the very initial years, it's the learning curve and the whole
Mhm,
what, and that doesn't exclusively apply to guys in a band in that age, but there's a lot of doing things for the first time,
mhm,
and it's all exciting, I guess. But yeah, I think somewhere, well, suddenly it's a long time ago, but at the time it felt like a halfway point where nobody really cared. We were 3 albums deep and we hadn't really, we have evolved as musicians and we have done a couple of cool things, but I don't think we truly have found our voices yet.
mhm,
And that reflected in that people hadn't really come around and to us to the extent that you would hope for. But so there was a down period between the third and the fourth album was actually where me and John, so again the drummer, uh we kind of called it quits one evening in the bar. Started talking about what would you do if you weren't in the band, and then we started to talk really about how nice it would be to not be in the band. We were like 24 at the time, which means we were ancient, aging, old.
in the band rock and roll world, right?
Yeah, at
You're
least if you
24, you're
compare to
still young.
how famous Paul McCartney was at 24, we were
Yeah.
failures. But I also think it was kind of the age felt significant at the time, because whenever now when you look back at whatever, you were super young, right? But at the time, I think there's some validity to it because we had friends who at 24 people graduate and get that real job.
Mhm,
And that people who are driven in that way start to some might reap some rewards early on thanks to having stuck on that path, and we didn't because we we didn't go down that path. So it was the first time like, oh, are we missing out? Did we take a wrong turn somewhere and here we are we screwed? And of course we weren't, and you never are.
mhm,
Then that's important to say, talking about these things. You can always, Led Zeppelin, you can always change the path you're on, right?
mhm.
So, but it felt like that at the time. So it was a bit of a crisis, and we kind of quit the band, but then we sit there quietly, uh, ordered another round, but then, it would kind of suck if we didn't finish that song.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who said it was John or I, but anyone, the other one was like, I was thinking the same thing. And that song ended up being a bonus track, but it's the bonus track saved the band at the time, as was Dying to See You Dead. I think it's available somewhere online, also in this digital age.
Yeah.
But that being said, so what kept us going at that time it's cheesy as hell, but it's really the truth. The music, just the thing of like, okay, yeah, nobody cares, blah, 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 whatever, but we didn't, it's not that we sat there and figured out the secret sauce but if we do this, we can buy the Ferrari. No, it's just we really want to finish that song. We can't quit until we do that song. And
Yeah.
there's always another song to make. So that's the foundation of it always.
And so right around the time of the Black Waltz is when you found, I guess, the voice or at least the concept of Avatar and what you wanted it to look like, correct?
Yeah, we got lucky there, right? I'm sure I told the story in a thousand places. But basically, yeah, we had a music video where a guy was going to eat a light bulb and breathe some fire and all that. And we just needed me to fit in for the sake of that video. So pish, posh, posh. How about I'm a scary clown? Slap some paint on it, like, boom. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did it feel like when you were putting the makeup on
yeah,
and you saw everything,
immediately.
it felt like it clicked?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. And that's the secret. That's why we stuck with it. It just opens something up. And I think because, putting up a layer of makeup or something, it's like, or should be like wearing a mask. But I
Mhm.
always felt more naked and more exposed in a way uh, that feels healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least, is it healthy? I guess it's healthy. It's at least, it's
There's a
honest
good
at
amount
least.
of healthiness
It
to it.
was very liberating, and it was
Yeah.
really okay. You can't hide now, MFR. See, because this is radio, I used the
We can bleep it out.
little,
You're good.
but now you don't need to.
We don't need to.
Exactly.
You guys have your upcoming 10th album later this
Hmm.
year. Do we have any information like what the
Oh,
title
I
is?
have all the information. I'm
You're
just
not
not
telling
telling people
though.
yet. No,
You're not
I
telling.
have a release date, and it's a
Okay.
beautiful date. It's probably the best date ever to release an album, at least this year.
Okay. It seems
And
like a
once
good
people
date.
hear it, they're like, well, they will say like, wow, that certainly is a date to release an album. But I can't
Okay.
tell you yet because they get mad.
Got it. Okay. So in due
But it's
time.
certainly, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's 2025.
Okay.
It's
That's something.
after summer, before Christmas,
Okay.
somewhere. The rest will fall
Okay.
into
Okay.
place.
So we got at least that hit now. Um,
Yeah,
no
and
one.
it's go ahead.
Well, go ahead about the.
Now I feel I should say something about that album because it's really good.
Okay.
And there's something about sticking around, being the same band till 10 albums deep, and you know finding a way to make it really, really important and exciting and new to you as an artist
Yeah.
find your really strong valid reasons to want to put music out there once again and not just make it feel like here we go again. And I think that's exactly what we did. It feels brand new to me, and it feels so important that people hear this and get to hear this. And we found a way again to feel like beginners and first timers, and that's always what we're going for. So, yeah,
Yeah.
now I said that, I'm excited.
Okay. Is there a sense of I guess like a challenge, or does it seem different because it's the 10th album?
Um, it's different every time, and it's the same every time. I think again to find a reason beyond you're supposed to make another one, to find challenges for yourself as a musician, really practical things like I haven't sung like that yet. We didn't make a song that went like this yet. We didn't record like this yet. All those practical things to hang it up on. While
Yeah.
also, and if combining that with being completely honest about what kind of terrible human beings we are right now, instead of pretending that we're the same terrible human beings we were at 20.
Okay.
Because that's a choice you make at some point at a band, right? You had a sound and you made it popular at some point, and then you had to stick with it.
Hmm.
Rarely works. I think the only ones that stand a chance to have longevity, most of the cases at least, are the people who, then dare to be honest with where they are at in life at any given moment.
Yeah.
So
Um,
the
you guys,
reasons that whatever that causes excruciating pain in me right now is different than when I was 20.
yeah, I could see that. So you guys recorded this in a castle?
Yeah,
That's
because
nuts.
Rostov, we were there for Feathers and Flesh as well, and but this which was with Sylvia Massey, and now we went back to the scene of the crime, but with Jay Russin this time, so that was
Okay.
different. And
Yeah.
it's just a cool place run by disorganized German hippies, and we took over the place, the bar, the kitchen, the studio full of vintage toys, and we
Oh, it's
play
awesome.
with a bunch of those. And we use a German mountaineering choir for a good chunk of the album as well.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a fresh take on heading back home.
And that's where the interview had to end because he had a second interview after mine and he was already running a little bit late. But don't miss Avatar at Brooklyn Bowl November 8th with Alien Weaponry and Spirit World. And keep an eye out for that new album sometime this year. It's a beautiful date.